very important for a scalper, and to make profit consistently in this particular scalping system, it is very much possible, but only with set rules and set discipline. Alright, so let's look at some long setup. For long setup, we have two tools that we are using in this particular setup. One is the Chicago and the second is the Donching channel. Now if you look at, this is a 15 minutes chart that we are looking at, as we discussed that we look at 15 minutes chart. Secondly, we want the Chicago to be above the price. So you can see the Chicago is above the price, indicating that there is a bullish signal which is coming in for a particular setup. Bosch on the 8th of March, you can see this is a slide of 8th of March, opened almost like with a big bullish candle. The bullish candle went and touched the upper Donching channel. So you can see the upper Donching channel started flexing up. So what we are looking at here in the Bosch chart is we have a bullish opening in Bosch, and you can see the upper Donching channel started flexing upwards. The movement of the Donching channel up indicates that the high of the past 20 candles has been broken by the first candle here formed in Bosch in the first 15 minutes of the trading day. So that is your signal candle which goes and touches the Donching channel. This is my signal candle. Followingly, in the second candle, it starts breaking the high of that signal candle, which is your entry candle. So your entry candle is the second candle. My stop loss here would be below the mid band, a little 2 or 3 points below the mid band. This is how a long setup typically would look like. The upper band is rising and the prices have started making a new high, new 20 period high, here being the 15 minutes candle. So last 20-15 minutes candle se ye high upar bana hai, and now we start getting a trending indication. The trend is on our side, the momentum is also on our side, because this is a long setup that we are looking at. What happens next through the day? This is that candle of Bosch. If you see, the move continued upward and the trend continued upward in the upward direction throughout the day, and gave an enormously huge trade in Bosch. Not a single candle even came down to the mid band. It was a nice trending day and a good long trade could be captured. Let's look at another example. This is an example of Bajaj Finance. This is a short setup example. Now here you can see the Donching channel squeezing and coming very close to each other. This squeeze was the first indication that after a squeeze, as we discussed, there would be a widening phase. Even here earlier also you can see a squeeze happened and a widening phase. A squeeze happening and then a widening phase ensued. The Chicago slipped below the price. So when we are looking at the short setup, we want two things to happen. One, the Chicago below price, that is going to give the momentum, and the next signal would be from a candle which starts touching the Donching channel. So here, though this first candle touched the Donching channel, the following candles did not break the low of this candle. So the signal did not get triggered until the next candle which went and touched the Donching channel lower band. Now this lower band, if you see, started pointing downwards, indicating that this low which has got printed is lower than the past 20 candles on the 15-minute chart. The next candle which broke the low was your signal candle, and then the trend continued in the downward direction. The stop loss here would be just above the mid band, and let's see how the trade culminated. The entire trade kept on sweeping downwards. The entry which we got around the levels of 59.80 corrected for 40 points on the downward direction, wherein we got the momentum because the Chicago was just below the prices. Another important thing we can observe here is when the Chicago was just trying to break below the prices, the signal did not appear because the prices went up, and then the signal came around when the Chicago actually broke the price wall and started scaling downwards. So a nice 40-45 points trade could be captured in Bajaj Finance short using the short setup. Let's look at few more examples. This is an example of Reliance. It is an example of 6th of March. You can see the Donchian channels were flat earlier. The opening candle opened and touched directly to the upper band of the Donchian channel. There was a squeeze, that means out here, wherein there is a flat Donchian channel. Then the Chicago slipped above the price, so bringing in a bullish momentum again. The prices started breaking the high of the candle, the signal candle, which appeared right in the morning, first 15 minutes, and then the trend kept on going up. The prices kept on sticking to the upper band, indicating that new highs kept on printing in Reliance chart. The stop loss, of course, was at the mid band, and the prices never came down to the mid band. Of course, the risk reward is 1:1. So when our risk reward is met, we are supposed to exit the trade setup. Another example of short trade. This is an example of Maruti 15 minutes chart, and the example is of 9th of March. You can see a squeeze in the Donchian channel happening. What happened after the squeeze? Prices dropped to the lower band of the Donchian channel. So this particular candle that you can see went and touched the lower band. At the same time, Chicago took hindrance at the price wall. It got obstructed at the price wall, and the Chicago started sliding below. This was your signal candle that the trade is ready, but actually the entry happened only here, because after that the prices moved up and they did not break the low of this candle. Followingly, this candle touched the Donchian channel, and the following candle broke the low, and the short trade got executed at the levels of around 86.30 and kept on sliding for good 50-60 points on the downward, where the prices kept on sticking to the Donchian channel lower band, indicating that the Donchian channel is also falling. So the trend was bearish and our trade setup also was bearish. So we were having least risk to reward in this particular trade, as you are trading in the direction of the trend. So as we discussed, that trading in the direction of the trend is very helpful because it helps you to minimize your risk. This is an example of a trade setup of Hind Petro. On the 10th of March, if you see, there was a squeeze in the Donchian channel and the Chicago, which was already above the price. So Chicago being above the price is my first indication that the trend is bullish. A squeeze and the Chicago being above the price. So I was waiting that the prices go and stick to the upper band and then get a follow through signal. What happened was, it did completely opposite. The prices went and dropped to the lower band. So obviously the trade setup was not yet active because Chicago was above the price. We want the Chicago to be below the price if the prices are going and sticking to the lower end of the Donchian channel. So eventually I waited for almost an hour, and after about 45 minutes I got a signal, because each candle is of 15 minutes. This is the third candle which gave a signal that the prices are now sticking to the upper band. The upper band is also rising and the Chicago is above the price. The entry was, this was the entry candle, this was a signal candle, this was the entry candle followingly, and the trailing stop loss was kept at moving at the mid band, and 1:1 risk reward was achieved in this particular trade setup. We had some rules. We had the rule of Chicago and Donchian. We had the rule of trend and momentum in our favor, and that's how we stuck to the rule and we executed the trade as per the rules. So frame your rules, frame your system, make rules for longs, make rules for short. If you are a beginner, you can just start with long trade setup, and you can understand and slowly build up on the long trade setup and then move to the short trade setup. So trend, momentum, Donchian channel, Chicago, a combination of this on the 15-minute chart and a trending day was in the favor. Also at this point in time, you can keep in hindsight what the markets are doing. Are the markets into a bearish sentiment, or are the markets having a bullish day today? Is Nifty trending today into a bullish domain? Is Nifty indicating a bearish day today? So if your trade setup is long, try to take a long setup on a bullish day when the indices are bullish. If your trade setup is bearish that you are looking at, then try to take that bearish setup on a bearish day when the indices are, into the bear's grip. Such setups, when they are in sync with the overall market conditions, they work better. Another hint I can give you out here is when you're looking at Nifty, and if Nifty is bullish today, you will try to find out bullish setups. When the Nifty is bearish today, try to find out which are bearish setup, because you are trading with the market sentiment, and that's why you are a scalper. You don't want to take position home. As a rule, we are supposed to close the position before the end of the day. We are here to make fast money. When would you make fast money? Only when you are in sync with the market conditions. You are in sync with the chart setup. So this is one tip that I could give you to make your trade more profitable. So, to summarize the whole thing, do we have a holy grail? There is no holy grail in the market. Let me tell you, after the experience of 15 years, that we don't have a holy grail. It is just about using your system optimally, sticking to the rule, being disciplined. Is Donchin channel a holy grail? No, it can fail. It can go against you. But as a trader, we know where our risk and rewards are. We have a set rule that defines our system, that defines our entry, that defines our exit. And as I gave you the example of a movie hall, we are not going to get trapped in a particular trade because we use stop losses. Stop losses are your biggest friend. Let me tell you, as a trader, forget scalping, forget any kind of trade time that you trade into. Maybe it positional, maybe it be a swing trade. Stop loss is a trader's friend. So make friends with stop loss. You should always know where your exit door lies and where you need to exit your trade. As a scalper, what we need to do is we need to have more winning trades than the losing trades. So even in trading, we observe that, as a positional trader also, we observe that it's not going to be more number of trades which are going to be very effectively, beating your P&L system, P&L on the Excel sheet, but it is definitely going to be how well or how effectively you have used your trading rules, how effectively you have stuck to your trading systems and used it optimally to make money in markets. So friends, there is no holy grail in trading. We need to assign a stop loss to our trade, and we need to know our risk and reward when we are entering into a particular trade. If the risk is really very high, as a scalper, you may not want to take a particular trade. If the risk is low, you may look at building up a position which is bigger than the usual lot size or bigger than the quantity that you may be trading. So understanding the risk is most important, and stop losses are going to be very helpful to know where the exit doors are. So trade with, as I always been saying, plan your trade and trade your plan. That's the key to winning, and that's the key to scalping. All the best. Hello everybody, let's look at how to add those indicators like the Donchin channel and the Ichimoku Chikou span on the charts on the scalping system that I have discussed. Let's go to trading view. Here in the trading view, what you need to do is you go to indicators. In the indicators, search for Donchin channels. So when I search for Donchin channels, the first indicator out here which you see on the screen, I click on it and I add the Donchin channel with the default setting. So there is no change in the default Donchin channel. I simply click it and I add it to the particular chart. So here I get it Donchin channel which is added. The blue boundary is the upper Donchin channel. The lower blue boundary is the lower Donchin channel. Orange line is the mid band. How to add the Chikou? So for adding the Chikou, I will select the indicator Ichimoku cloud. When I select the indicator, I will have this following setup where I will open the Ichimoku cloud. In the inputs remain the same. The basic or the inputs which are default is what I have selected. And among the style, I deactivate everything. I only check the lagging span out here. I've changed the color to black and I've made it a little bold so that it is clearly visible. The black line is the Chicago line that gets plotted. And here we have the system for Donjin channel for the intraday scalping ready in front of us. Let's look at an example for today. Initial part, this is the example of 21st of August, when in the Donjin channel, prices on the 15 minutes started touching the Donjin channel started expanding. We can take a long trade when the next 15 minutes candle breaks the high of the previous candle and ride the scalping trade for the intraday purpose with the stop loss at the midband of the Donjin channel. Here we have the Chicago, which is above the price and price touching the upper Donjin channel and breaking out. This is one setup that you can use, exactly opposite for the bearish setup when the prices start sticking to the lower Donjin channel and the Chicago slips below the price and trade in the direction of the trend.